It's been a year and the Security Council has failed. It's been a year and the Security Council has failed. Isn't it past time to have General Assembly uniting for peace resolutions with teeth, with sanctions, with other punitive measures against Israel, or this is all posturing?
That was independent journalist Sam Husseini at a press encounter outside the UN Security Council chamber in New York last week, asking a follow-up question to Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi. Safadi was answering a question by another journalist, and he was following up a response by the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Faisal bin Farhan.
We have been saying, for months now, that this is an incredibly dangerous moment and that the risk of the situation spiraling out of control is real. And that is not less the case now, it is indeed more the case. And that is why we continue to push for a ceasefire certainly in Gaza, but also now a ceasefire in Lebanon, because again, guns are not the answer.
How much more dangerous do you think it is now?
It's hard to assess a specific level of danger. I think Minister Ayman would like to add something.
Thank you. I think it can get much more dangerous, particularly if the Israeli government is allowed to continue with its escalatory measures against Palestinians in the West Bank and against the holy sites. You have a deadlock in Gaza because the Israeli Prime Minister aborted the exchange deal. You have an escalation in Lebanon because he sees he only understands that the language of war. He hasn't listened to the international community. He didn't listen to his allies. So he launched war in Lebanon. And now this government is trying to escalate on the West Bank. If that happens, that is when the threat of regional war will become the more real, because the symbolism and the importance of the holy sites is across the Arab and Muslim world and will reverberate across. Basically, what we're saying here is that Netanyahu is doing all of that because he can. Almost a year ago, we stood before you here and we warned of this moment. Now we're at it. It's going to get worse unless the Security Council right behind us performs its duty and does what it has to do, protect regional international peace, unless it prevents this most radical of Israeli government, a member of which was a member of an organization that the US itself had labeled as a terrorist organization. Unless they stop them, unless this government faces consequences, then the whole region is falling into the abyss, and the future of the whole region, including the future of Israel, will be compromised, and we'll be talking about a future of war. It is time to face the truth, and the truth is, unless Netanyahu is stopped, unless this government is stopped, war will encompass all of us. Yesterday, the US president, the French president spoke of a possibility of a humanitarian truce. As one of you just said, Israel had agreed. According to the Lebanese government, Hezbollah had agreed. And Netanyahu lands here, and the first thing he does, saying that he will go ahead with his aggression in Lebanon, and he makes a speech which is full of disinformation, diverting away attention from the real issue. The only and the real danger in the region is the policies of this government of Israel, are the actions of this government of Israel, and the failure of the international community to stop it and say enough, protect international law, protect our international system, and protect the lives of Palestinians who have been reduced to nothing. I mean, yesterday, the day before in Lebanon, over 500 people were killed in one day, as if nothing has happened.
Can I ask a question here? I have a microphone.
Would that be the game changer? With the killing of
Now we're in a zone of real danger. Anything can go wrong. Netanyahu obviously wants regional war, and that's what we've been warning against. So when you go into Lebanon, and look, what's going to happen in Lebanon now? If this war continue, the people are leaving their homes. If there's a land invasion into Lebanon, the Lebanese army will have to defend this country. And then what are we going to be looking at? So we are looking at the eye of real danger right now. This has to stop. And if now the international community does not see the gravity of the danger, then we'll be here probably in 2 months and telling you, things have really gotten worse. Thank you.
It was at this point that Husseini raised the question of referring the matter to the General Assembly.
It's been a year and the Security Council has failed. It's been a year and the Security Council has failed. Isn't it past time to have General Assembly uniting for peace resolutions with teeth, with sanctions, with other punitive measures against Israel, or this is all posturing.
Husseini was referring to a procedure that was adopted under UN General Assembly Resolution 377A in November of 1950, known as the Uniting for Peace Resolution. This resolution provides where the Security Council cannot agree to act as required to maintain international security and peace, that the General Assembly will consider the matter immediately and may issue appropriate recommendations to UN members for collective measures, including the use of armed force when necessary, to maintain or restore international security and peace. The original intent of the resolution was to provide the UN with an alternative avenue for action when at least one of the permanent members of the Security Council uses its veto to obstruct the Council from carrying out its functions. In the past months, calls on Israel to stop the war on Gaza have received lopsided majorities in the General Assembly. In the Security Council, the U.S. has either vetoed or threatened to veto resolutions attempting to impose a ceasefire. This was Egypt's Foreign Minister, Badr Abdelhadi.
Well, I would like to join my colleagues on how dangerous is the situation right now. I mean, to drag the whole region into a full-fledged regional war, this does not serve the interest of anybody. We would like also to reaffirm that the issue of Gaza is the core of the problem in our region, and in Palestine, of course. Without solving this problem, there is no peace, there is no stability in this region. As for what you have mentioned, yes, it's we have all options available to go to the General Assembly if the Security Council is not assuming its responsibility. Of course, we can explore the possibility of going to General Assembly. It's not acceptable to have impunity for one country or to consider itself above the law. So it's the responsibility of the international community to intervene as soon as possible before having a full-fledged war which will not serve the interest of anybody in the region.
Excuse me. Stefano Vaccar.
This was Foreign Minister Safadi of
The
Jordan.
Prime Minister came here today and said that Israel is surrounded by those who want to destroy it, an enemy. We're here, members of a Muslim Arab committee mandated by 57 Arab and Muslim countries. And I can tell you here, very unequivocally, all of us are willing to, right now, guarantee the security of Israel in the context of Israel ending the occupation and allowing for the emergence of a Palestinian state, independent state, along the efforts that we all agree. He is creating that danger because he simply does not want the two-state solution. And if he does not want the two-state solution, can you ask the Israeli officials, what is their end game? Other than just wars and wars and wars. I'm telling you, all of us in the Arab world here, we want a peace in which Israel lives in peace and security, accepted, normalized with all Arab countries in the context of ending the occupation, withdrawing from Arab territory, allowing for the emergence of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state on June 4, 1967, lines with occupied Jerusalem as capital. That is our narrative. That is, and we will guarantee Israel's security in that context. Can you ask Israelis what's their narrative other than I'm going to continue to go to war, I'm going to kill this and kill that and destroy this and this that? The amount of damage that Israeli government has done, 30 years of efforts to convince people that peace is possible, this Israeli government killed it. The amount of dehumanization, hatred, bitterness will take generations to navigate through. So ultimately the question is, we want peace. And we've laid out a plan for peace. Ask any Israeli official, what is their plan for peace? You'll get nothing because they're only thinking of the first step. We're going to go destroy Gaza, inflame the West Bank, destroy Lebanon, and after that, they have no plan. We have a plan. We have no partner for peace in Israel. There is a partner for peace in the Arab world, and that's why the international community needs to move.
And the Foreign Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Faisal bin Farhan, had this to
Can you
say.
answer this?
So I'm sorry, but the Security Council session has started.
Okay, can I just come up with a question about what he just said? Stefano Vaccara, Ital Press, New York. Just he said.
No, I'm sorry, but they've started, so we need to go in. We need to participate.
But
Thank you.
what is your answer to Premier Netanyahu when he said that there is anti-Semitism?
For KPFK, I'm Don DeBar.